Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures. Welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be doing a video that's a little extra video that I wasn't really planning to do this time last week, but it was about this time last week, or yeah, it was just after we'd gone away on our lovely trip to Jersey. We've been away for a few days, and while I was there, I saw this heartbreaking video that Tina from Shabby Dabby Doodle posted. I'm sure many of you have seen it. And it just broke my heart, and I was thinking about her while I was away. She was always in the back of my mind, thinking, just what a tough time she's going through, and I really felt for her. And clearly so many other of you did as well. There are many, I've been seeing quite a lot of videos popping up with the hashtag Shabby Dabby Doodah, just putting up videos in support of Tina, using her kits, sending out their love. And I just think that was a wonderful thing for the community to pull together to do. And I wanted to be part of that. I wanted to join in, not least because I use her kits all the time. I find her very inspiring. I watch her YouTube videos. Those of you who watch my channel know that I use her kits a lot. And also that I'm inspired by her. I make her pockets. I watch the mass makes all the time. So yeah, I just wanted to be part of this amazing net of love and support that's being thrown in her direction, and hopefully at some point she will feel all that coming towards her and surrounding her, because it's a great community. Everybody out there is so supportive, and I think everybody wants to rally around her, which is as it should be. That's why we're here. We can do our small bit to show our support, buy her kits. Maybe buy her a coffee on her website if that's what you want to do. I think I bought her a hot chocolate. And yeah, just keep supporting her and sending her our love and sending her our love. So that's what I'm going to do today. I was going to just do a video winging it with some of the kits that I've bought, but I thought, no, that's just not me, is it? I need to make a bit of a plan. Otherwise, I'll just flounder. So I thought I'd just do a little masterboard, because Tina inspired masterboard. Because that would give me a base to make some other things from. We can make some journal cards or whatever it inspires us to make. As you know, as I've mentioned, I have got a lot of her kits. And one of the kits that I've been printing off and started to use is this amazing William Morris kit that I bought recently. It's fabulous. It's got every colour you can think of in it. I just love it. The hardest part is choosing which papers to use every time, because so much of it is just... So look at this. It's just so gorgeous. So I want to use a bit of that anyway. I bought a couple of new kits. Unfortunately, because I've done a lot of printing this month, one way and another, with the... all the baby kits I've been printing off as well, I've almost used up my subscription with HP until the end of this month. I didn't have many papers left I could print, so I printed what I could of the two new kits. One of them is this Essential Basics kit number 2, which has got so much in it. It's got papers, it's got labels, it's got ephemera. It's just you name it, it's got it in here. So I printed off a selection, thinking, oh, well, I could use some of them. I couldn't possibly use them all anyway in one video. So I'll show you as I go along. I've got some papers, so that's what I'm going to use on the masterboard to start with. I also bought this one. It's called the Vintage Victorian. Again, I've only printed off, I think, 3 or 4, about half the kit, because I had to be careful how much I printed, because I just didn't have much left. I think I've left myself maybe 4 or 5 pages left that I can print before the end of the week. So I thought I've got to have a little tiny cushion in case there's something I desperately need to print. So that is those. So let's get started. So I've already pre-prepared, as you can see. I've done the backing paper because that's not very exciting to watch. And I'm just going to do this side. I thought I'd do a bigger one, and I thought, no, I'll never get that finished, and then I won't get to use it. Ooh, there's something lumpy under there. What is it? Oh, no, it's not. It's a bead. My granddaughter got all my beads out yesterday. They went everywhere. I won't go into that. It was just... she had fun. Now I've got all clearing up to do, but never mind. Okay, so I'm going to pick out the papers from this Essential Basics kit. Just pull those out. first of all, because there's quite a nice selection, and I thought, well, we'll use some bits and pieces, and then we can decorate it all up in the way that Tina would have done. So I don't want to make it too what's the word, highly decorated before I add bits to it, because then it'll all just look a bit too overwhelming. So, but I do really like some of these papers. So look at that. I mean, these are lovely. I'll start with something perhaps a little bit more muted, a bit more neutral at the beginning. This is lovely. I'll take a piece of this, I think, to start myself off. And let's get cracking. So hopefully it won't take me too long to do the basic background, and then we'll spend a bit of time just decorating it up, because that's what I thought I'd try and channel her a little bit as well while I'm doing this. Do it in, no, I wouldn't say I'd do it in her style, because you can't emulate somebody else's style really. You have to do it your own way. But certainly inspired by her style, which I am always anyway. I think I've become a little bit more, a little braver in my choice of colours sometimes. Perhaps not as much as I would like to be, but I'm getting there. Because a lot of Tina's videos speak to me in her use of colour, and especially in her use of lace. As probably most of you know, I love a bit of lace, and a lot of that comes from her, I think. So I'm just going to tear papers, glue them on, see where we go with this. So I'm just going to pop that up there. Where's my glue book gone? So I did start using, when I was doing the other side, I started using the tacky glue, which I know Tina uses a lot, and I do use a lot too, when I've got that from her. But I was finding I wasn't able to get enough coverage, and it was a little bit lumpy. Not lumpy, but I wasn't getting as much coverage of the paper, so there were little gaps, so it looked a bit bubbly in places, and especially where the paper's not so thick. You can get away with it with thicker paper, but not with thin. So I think I'm going to stick with this and hope it just doesn't curl up too much, because you can get, the paper gets properly covered in glue then. So yeah, she's going through a really tough time at the moment, is our Tina. So I'm hoping that somehow she will find some solace and a bit of joy in the fact that so many of us want to support her. Okay, right. I'm just going to try and randomly. It's not easy to be random. It's not easy at all, but I want to try. Randomly choose papers that aren't too clashy. Oops. To create our masterboard. To try and remember to finish my sentences. Sometimes it's quite hard to do this and to talk at the same time. I'm often challenged. Starting sentences I can't remember to finish. Let's see how we get on. Don't want to spend too much of my time tearing off edges. Gets a bit tedious to watch, I'm sure. Right. So I'm just going to go. Here, I think. Yeah. Should I go down here? Is that big enough? Nope. Maybe I'll do it there. You can do it anyway, really. When you're at the beginning, you can just plonk your papers wherever you like, really, can't you? And then you've just got to fill the gaps. Try and make it look cohesive, but we will see. How cohesive this will end up, who knows? So yeah, we did have a really lovely little trip to Jersey and the Channel Islands. If you've, I'm sure you've heard of Jersey, most of you. I'd never been there before. Well, neither of us had ever been there before. But we went with our dear friends, who you've heard me talk about before, who the ones who moved to Norfolk, and we go and visit fairly regularly. It's somewhere they've been before and really enjoy. I think my friend's husband, he went there a lot as a boy. His parents used to love it there. So he's quite familiar with it, and he's been back there over the years. And I know my friend herself, since she's been married to him, has been over there a few times with him. In fact, they scattered his mum's ashes there. That's how much the family loved the place. So now I'm just wondering if I can put in a little bit of... There's a bit of William Morris paper that I could pop in here. I wouldn't... I was just thinking this piece is really quite a nice, quiet piece. I say quiet, it's not as loud as some. Not as... I mean, I love all the colours, but you've got to be a little bit careful with how many bright colours you introduce into something like this. And I might just tear a piece off that way. Let's do that. Have a few. Some straight edges I think are good, but not too many. I like a bit of variety, a bit of shaping. Well, random shaping is good. So something like that's fine. Okay, I'm going to put that on. Yeah, this William Morris kit is absolutely massive. And I just decided one day, a couple of weeks ago, to print the lot. Should probably last me ages. But it's a bit like having a whole load of Florentine papers in that they're just so... The patterns are just so gorgeous, and the colours. And I love my Florentine papers too. So they're almost like another version. No, that's too wet. Don't want that one. Want a dry one. One of the things we did while we were away, we went to Jersey Zoo, which has got many people have recommended to us, including our friends who've been there before. And it did not let us down. It was really great. It's a beautiful zoo. I mean, the whole... it's like a massive park, really. And all the enclosures are beautifully laid out. Lots of vegetation for the animals. Lots of places for them to hide or climb, depending on their preference. And they're quite good size, considering it's not a huge place in the scheme of things. And I'm comparing it, I suppose, to Whipsnade Zoo, which is one we're far more familiar with, which is massive, absolutely massive, probably as big as a zoo can get. So this one felt a bit more doable in a day. And I don't think we saw it all anyway, but we saw some really fabulous animals, some real characters they have there. I'm just going to put that one there. Just a little touch of pink at the bottom. And I'll put the other piece somewhere else. This is quite good because it's got bits going in every direction, so whatever direction you want to put your journal card, there'll be something the right way around, which means you don't have to worry about it too much. Let's take that off. Right. Oops. Yeah, so I want this to have a bit of colour in it, but not too much. And some neutral spaces that we can then decorate afterwards. Get rid of some of these bits. Put this in somewhere. Missed a bit. There we are. Okay. Put that there. Yes, I think so. Right, so I did pop it under my mat for a few minutes to see if it'll dry a little flatter. It may be a bit flatter than it was. It has curled up quite a bit, but we can work with that. It's not a problem. That's the other side of the coin with using the old glue stick, is things do curl up a bit. But hopefully when they dry out properly and I've put some more bits on, maybe it'll flatten out. Who knows? So before I start cutting it up, I wanted to add just a few more embellishments. I know it doesn't really need an awful lot more, but I just thought here and there I might put a few extra little bits. These are the pages I've printed off from the same kit as those papers that I've used, which is the Essentials Basics Kit 2, I think it is. So there's a page of really fantastic words here, which I really like. So I've got those. I've got a page of labels, whichever way around you want to look at those. So I might use a couple of those. I like these. I've not had these before. These are the frames. And the kit also had frames with nothing in, but I like the ones with the flowers and the girl in there. Well, there's one or two blank ones, but yeah, I really like the frames. I thought I might try and get one or two of those on somewhere. And then there's also some ephemera pieces. I might try and get one or two of those on. Well, this small one is speaking to me, so I might try and get that on somewhere. There's a whole load of labels. Now, as you probably know, I have a whole ephemera holder full of Tina's labels, and this is all from one kit. This is her labels and ephemera kit. I don't know which kit it is, maybe number 2. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of labels here that I can use as well. And now I've got some more, but they're different. They're different shapes on here. There's some nice blues which go quite well with the papers, so I thought I might use one or two of these. I might dip into there. I did print off a couple of pages of the tags as well, because I had thought I might do a couple of the tags as part of this, but I don't think I'll have time to do that, but maybe another time. And I also pulled in this box. Now this box has got all Shabby Dabby Doodah ephemera from her variety of kits that I've got. I've just got a bunch of kits, as you know, so I've got a whole bunch of these are all the slightly larger sized pieces in here. I've got 3 boxes. I've got the large ones, the medium ones, and the little teeny tiny ones. Well, I thought the large ones perhaps for this would be the ones that I might use. So I mean it's a fairly random way of dividing them up, because they're not really huge, but they're bigger than some of the others. So anyway, so I've got a whole bunch of these I can dip into as well to decorate. So yeah, I've got lots of choices. And I don't want to go mad, because it's relatively busy anyway, and we're going to want to decorate a little bit once we've cut them up. So having said that, let's see what I can squeeze on. I thought the colours of some of these labels were quite good. I quite like this blue, just to bring in perhaps a bit more of the blue, because the papers either seem to have a blue theme or there's quite a bit of pink in them. So I've managed to get both colours into my into my masterboard. I don't think I'd normally mix pink and blue, but why not? On this occasion I thought we could get away with it, because by the time I've cut them up they won't necessarily be on the same journal card. So I just thought I'd try this. Again, I would normally get all this cut out before I start the video, but I've just not had time. We only got back Saturday, quite late, late on Saturday, 5-ish, 5:30, something like that we got home. And it's now Monday morning, so I've not had a lot of time to kind of think about this or to get it organised, other than to buy the kits and print off some of them. Maybe I should bring the blue over here. A bit more blue here. Don't know. Blue there. Yeah, I think I might do that. Bring in my little bottle. As some of you may know, the bottle I've been using for my art glitter glue, the the top just came apart or disappeared into itself. I don't know what it's done. I maybe have to give it a clean and try and see if I can separate it all out. So I've got these two little bottles. So all my bottles are just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So I've got two of these little teeny ones from, what are they called? Crafter's Companion, I think they are. They always have some sort of purple element to them. So these ones come with a purple topped pin. But they are actually really good to use. They do seem to, well, I didn't say that, but oh yeah, they do seem to be not get too clogged up, which is quite handy. And as there's two, the other one's not filled, but it has got some in it. Right, I'm just going to, maybe I'll do it to the edge. Pop that there, I think. Let's go right to the edge. Nope, it's glued. So I'm going to put that there. What else can I put on here? Can I put something? I've got like that one. Most of these pieces I've printed on my 160 GSM paper, but a piece of copy paper just snuck through. Oh, maybe I'll give it that little border. She likes to do that sometimes to give you a bit more background so you can actually have a little bit extra colour around the edge if you want. So I might just do that. Just leave a little border of the background and pop that there, I think. Yes, we got back on Saturday, I say late afternoon on Saturday. Didn't have time to do anything other than dash to the shops to get some food in. Oh yes, I like that. And then yesterday afternoon, we had Alyssa was dropped off to us just after about lunchtime, so her mum and dad could go and look at a wedding venue. So we had her for the afternoon. She had a lovely time. We were exhausted by the end of it. Mind you, she was too. We had a picture of her. She was asleep in the car on the way home. And it's not a long journey home. Right, what else can I put on here? I need something down in this corner. I'm just wondering. I've got this little bit here. I wonder where's just... Yeah, I think I might just pop that in the corner. Don't think I've got any others. Few little bits I've got. Yeah, I quite like that. I might pop that in that corner. Yeah, because I'd on one of the days we'd gone to a really pretty resort, and actually we went to a couple of beach resorts, and no, it was the first one we went to. It was a bit more stony, not quite such a sandy beach. And we were picking up shells. I haven't done that for years. Walking along the beach, picking up pretty shells. So I collected some shells and brought them back because I thought she might quite like to do something with them, and she did. So we washed them and then she sorted them into different types. Oh, she had a lovely time. Then she decided she needed something else to go with them. And that something was my beads. She went a bit mad with the beads and they were everywhere. But she had a lovely time. So I will clear them up at some point. There was a time, well, there's still some in the bird bath. She poured them all in the bird bath and made a little rockery for the birds in the bird bath with beads and shells and everything. So I got a quick sip of coffee that I picked up earlier. While I was waiting for my masterboard to dry. So yes, I got that little bit in the corner there. I think I might just leave it there. Or shall I put something? No, I need something up here, I think. What about this piece? Would that go in there? I don't know. Give it a whirl. It might be a little bit big actually. No, I think what I need, something this kind of colour, but not as big as that. Let's have a look at my labels, because I've got some good sized labels. I think like this perhaps would be good. Or maybe that's not enough contrast. Got this pink one. How's that look? I'll just cut it down a little bit more. Feels a touch too big, but I don't want to cut too much off it. Just check I haven't got something else that's a better size. Oh, that's a bit too small, I think. I don't know. What do we think about that one? Is that a better colour, I think? And maybe a better size as well. Yep. There's that one. Oh, got another one. Oh dear. No, I'm just going too far. I like that, actually. In the end, that's the perfect size. When you start looking at where you need a little something extra, you can kind of get a bit carried away with that. I do want to start cutting this up in a minute. I just want to see if there's any other spots that need something. And I think that needs that right there. I want to see if I can fit on that other label, don't I now? Don't think the big blue one is going to work. It's just too big. But that's going to cover a nice little awkward join of different pieces. And what about this one? Kind of there. Yeah. Let's go in there. Now I'm thinking I want something here. It never ends, does it? Okay, let's see what I've got in my little box. I wonder about this piece actually. Make it smaller. Will that go in there? It's got the pinks. Yeah. This was actually from the vintage viola kit, which of course I used in my music journal. But it doesn't have anything music related on it, so I didn't use it. There you go, it can end up being good somewhere else. So I think I might just use that. I'm feeling the urge to ink it, but I haven't inked anything else, so I think I'm going to resist. Go there. That way? No, that doesn't look right. Yeah, I think I'll put it there. Go that way a little bit. Okay. So now how are we looking? Yeah, the other areas of where things need to be poked up a little, or where there looks like there's a place that needs something extra. Don't know. Quite like how it is now, I think. Yep. I think I'm going to call a halt to decorating it now. I think if Tina would probably put more on hers, but I want to add, once I've cut them into journal cards or whatever it is we're going to end up making, because I want to be able to add more things to those. So, where's my little pin? It was, of course, hiding in plain sight. I don't think we're going to have time to decorate very many of these. I'll see what I can do. It may only be one, and I might have to come back and do another video to finish. But that's okay. Don't mind that. So, a journal card. Sometimes it's good to have a decent sized journal card, so wondering how big to make it. I think 4 inches across is probably enough. Maybe I'll make it 4.5, then it can go in a side tuck. Let's go down that way. And then we'll make it... Yep, we'll cut it there, and then we've got a big one and a small one. Or a small tag. Maybe it'd be a small tag. I just need to tidy up this edge. Didn't really do great. Didn't actually catch any of it there. I don't want to lose too much, so I'm just trying to cut a tiny sliver off. There we go. Right, I'm just going to cut the rest up, I think, and we'll see what we do with them later. I'm going to do... I'm going to make this one a pocket, I think. I'd even go a bit smaller. Yep. So that could be a little pocket. And then we have another journal card here, which doesn't look very straight. That's it. Journal card. Don't really think I need tags. We have many tags. So how wide am I going to go? 4. Oh, and it looks like I'll end up with a... I can't avoid tags really, can I? Because what I'm going to get left with, if I cut this in half, it's tag sized. Cut it about there. Let's go for 4 inches, and then then the last piece will be a tag, or a side tuck. Actually, why not? I'm not worrying too much about the pattern because it's all fairly random. That doesn't look very straight either. It must have slipped. How unusual. Right, we have a few more journal cards of various sizes. I'm going to leave this because it'll make it quite a nice side tuck, I think. Right, so we'll leave that for another time. Let's just choose, I think we'll just have to choose one to finish. Not that one. I think that's going to be a pocket, so I'll put that to one side. This one is very wonky. So I've got that one, I like that. And that one, little something or other. Put that to one side. So I'm just going to choose between these. And I think I'll go for this one because that's the large one. No other reason really, it's just that I know that Tina does do like large journal cards. So it's a shame it's curling up. I'm going to try and train it a bit. Okay, let's see what we can put on here. I had my eye on one of the images from the vintage, what's it called? The Vintage Victorian. And the image I like is this one here. So let's just release it from the page and see. I don't know whether to tear it out or cut it out. I'm tempted to tear because I do quite like the torn look. I think that will go really nice on there. Let's just try it. Now we're going to have to do a bit of inking. So I shall probably edit that all out. Right, so we've got that, which I really like, although it's a shame I quite like the label one. I don't really want to cover it all up. I wonder if I can make it a little bit smaller, this. So, yeah, that's a bit better. And I think I'm going to need a little something behind there. Doesn't need an awful lot, really, because there's plenty going on in the background, isn't there? But what I thought I might try and use on this is a bit of black lace, because Tina does love her black lace. She doesn't use it all the time, but she does love it, and I hardly ever use it, if at all. So that one way to kind of feel like I'm channeling her would be to put some black lace on this, and it would go really well with this image too. So, sure, I have some black some. Oh, there it is. Yep, there it is. Yeah, let's see what we can do. I've got a big one and a little one. Ooh. Am I brave enough to use the big piece? That's a good question. And I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to cut a bit off. Okay. Ooh, what if we do a bit of gathering? This is very Tina, isn't it? Gather some black lace onto her journal card. How would that look? Actually, it looked really quite dramatic, and I think I might quite like it. Right, I'm going to put a little book page, I think just a little bit of book page behind the image. And that little piece will be quite nice. It's a very small print, very small text. Let's try this. How would that look? Yeah, I think that would look quite good, although I might just do it that way around and then have a straighter bit on the outside. When I say straight, yeah, straight is not quite what that is, but it's, at least it's going straight down the card, not disappearing. So I might just ink that a little bit. Very conscious now that we're using up a big chunk of video, and some people may not have made it to the end of this, so I do apologise if this has gone on for far too long. But that's how it goes with this channel. Oh, okay. There will be some editing to be done, and hopefully we'll make it a more manageable length. Need the whole book. So there were other things I wanted to use, but just run out of time, as is usually the case. Okay. Where's my... Let's try that. Ooh, is that a bit damp? I think it was. Don't want damp, do we? Right, now I'm going to put my image on, add the lace, finish it off quickly. Before I go any further, I need to round my corners. Right, so I've rounded my corners and inked all around, and now I'm going to add my black lace and I'm going to ruffle it. So how much more Tina inspired could I get, really? So let's just put a bit of Fabri-Tac along here. Let's see how this goes. I've done it a few times like this, and she always uses her hot glue to do it, which makes it a bit easier, I suppose, because it comes out a bit more readily than the old Fabri-Tac does, but we will see. At least it does grab quite quick, and so the ruffling method does work quite well with the Fabri-Tac as well. Okay, just sort of scrunching as we go, and it's sticking to me as well as to the lace. Put a bit more on. There we are. There we are. That's a little bit of lace, lacy ruffle. Love it. So we just need to put something here, don't we? Ugh. Right, let's just quickly wipe. Once it starts, it does not want to stop. Oh, dear old Fabri-Tac. So it just needs a little something here now, doesn't it? And I want to use one of the words. Can I put a flower on there just to lift it a bit? Did see one in here, but it might be too big. Yeah, it's mahoosive, isn't it? Yeah, it's because I've got my box of big bits. Don't know if this will work. Oops. Colour's a bit wayward, isn't it? Nope. Okay, maybe just the word will do. These are my words. And I'm going to have to add the word inspirational. No other word will do, as that is exactly how I would describe our Tina. And brave is another one. I think she was very brave to make the video that she did. I don't know if brave is even on here, but this will do nicely. Right, so how about that? Just there. Let me put that there. Let me put it further down. Something like that. I'll put it on there. It's just a little bit of a lumpy bumpy bit there, but I will just have to try and press it down. Get it on. Just might need to trim that little tiny bit off. Where's my other scissors? These will do. Okay, so I think this is it for today. So I'm sure Tina won't see this video, but any of you that do watch it and want to support her in any way you want to, buy her kits, buy her a coffee, just like her videos and subscribe. I think it would be a great way to send out our support from our community. And it's a great community to be part of, I have to say. It's just so wonderful to see how people have rallied around just to do anything they can to support her. And hopefully she will get to see all of this support and feel it, and it'll give her a warm glow. So thank you for joining me today. Sorry it's gone on a bit long, but there was quite a lot to try and get through in one video. So I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.